I've been with LAYC since June of last year. I came on to the Upward Bound program in late June and became an academic advisor with the program. And I served as an academic advisor until January of this year, and then I became the program director for Upward Bound and an adjoining program which is funded through the Department of Employment Services. It's called the In-School program. That's a great question. I would say there's a couple of challenges. I think that whenever you work with youth that sometimes are disconnected, that have limited resources, you have several barriers that they need to overcome, and you're trying to help them navigate those things, whether it be a rocky home life or a school system that isn't as supportive, and they just have personal struggles that you are trying to help them overcome with the ultimate goal of getting them into college. Um, from a program perspective, I think that there's been a lot of transition in staff members over the last, I would say, 7 years. I've had this position in particular, being a director, there's been five. I'm the sixth director of the program, so there's a lot of transition, and a lot sometimes things aren't done as well as you would have hoped, and so inheriting a program is always a tricky situation because things may not have been done to the standard that you might have wanted them to be. So you have to work with what you have, and then also try to instill a vision that you would have for the program, and get things to where you want them to be. So it's almost like backtracking a little bit. So I think that working in an urban setting with a school system that has been failing for the last 20 years, you're facing several hurdles, and that's, a generation or two of students that now, have had a school system that isn't as supportive, where they haven't been given the resources and tools that they need to be successful, and so they're faced with that every day, and then you're on the outside trying to fix more systematic issues, and you can only do so much. So you have to be able to help the kids in whichever way possible in the means that we have within the confines of our program, within our agency. So I think that yes, at times there's definitely frustration when you're working with kids and you realize that they don't come with the skill set that you may think they have at a certain grade level. Some kids are not on the reading and math level that you need them to be at a ninth grade or 10th grade, so you have to do more intensive work with them, things that you would assume that the school system would do and would remediate, but that doesn't always happen. For some students, I think that with recent immigrant populations, Latino or African populations that tend to congregate in these wards that surround the center, yes, I think that it can be, not for the students themselves, but I think that for their parents. So the students, and I've found that in my own personal experience coming from an immigrant background, my parents immigrating to this country, the children tend to be not only a student and, a son or a daughter, but they tend to be a translator for their parents. So they're translating work documents, they're translating school documents, they're speaking sometimes on behalf of the parents because the parents have that barrier. But yeah, I think the greatest achievement is meeting the outcome of getting the kids into college. I think that it just great joy when we have our seniors that get into schools and multiple schools, and especially the schools that they really wanted to get into. This year we've had a lot of successes with kids in our Upward Bound program who we have kids that've gotten into Virginia Tech, Emory, St. Mary's College of Maryland, Howard, Bowie State. So we've had Penn State, and we're still waiting on students as they're awaiting their college acceptances. So a lot of successes, and in the other program as well, some students have got into Temple and Old Dominion University, VCU. So those are the great successes right there, and you hope that the goal is again that each student is going to get into college. So when they do, it's you feel rewarded. You feel like yes, that they are successful, so you feel successful. I have a couple friends that have worked in the agency, and we knew each other from church, and they were just telling me about the great work that LAYC has done in the community with kids. I actually worked in the school district before I came to LAYC, and so I knew the frustrations as an educator that I was, facing as someone who worked with students, and that didn't really sit well with me. So I wanted to still stay in education, but explore other avenues by which I can impact students. And uh, and when the opportunity came about to work with Upward Bound, I thought it was a great fit because I'm the recipient of a program such as Upward Bound. When I was in college, I um, I was a part of Student Support Services, which is a program that is under the same umbrella as Upward Bound. And I was also a McNair Scholar, which is also falls in the same line, helping me get into grad school. So I know the benefit and how students can really benefit from these type of programs. So I had an invested interest.